How to think your way to success. They will tell you that success is earned by those who hustle hardest, that wealth is the prize of the endlessly busy. But that's only part of the truth. The deeper truth, the one the world doesn't shout but whispers to the quiet minds willing to listen, is this: you do not build wealth with your hands alone. You build it first in your mind. Before there was a Model T, there was Henry Ford's unwavering belief in a future no one else could see. Before the light bulb lit the world, it was a burning thought in the mind of Thomas Edison, who failed 10,000 times before success dared show up. And before the steel empire of Carnegie or the dreamscapes of Walt Disney, there was nothing more than an idea, a vision, a mindset that defied the ordinary and pulled the future toward them. So let's speak plainly. Success is not a matter of circumstance. It is not given. It is summoned. And the first summoning comes not from action, but from thought. A thought so clear, so demanding, it begins bending reality around it. Every empire, every revolution, every fortune has been birthed in the unseen, in a thought so persistent it refused to die. The average man sees only the world around him. The wealthy mind sees beyond it. What does it mean to have a wealthy mindset? It means your thoughts are not slaves to your conditions. It means your internal dialogue does not mirror your current bank account, but the balance you've already claimed in your vision. It means you do not react. You create. You do not chase. You attract. You do not wish. You intend. Most people think money is earned. The wealthy mind knows money is aligned with purpose, aligned with belief, aligned with clarity so sharp it cuts through doubt like a blade. And yet, none of this can happen without mindset. Mindset is the lens through which you interpret the world. Two men can look at the same storm. One sees disaster, the other sees an opportunity to build an ark. Look at Lincoln, rising through hardship like fire through dry wood. Born in a log cabin, little formal education, but he read by candlelight. He taught himself law. He planted the seeds of leadership in the dark soil of struggle. And when the time came, his mind, not his name, not his wealth, carried a fractured nation on its back. The wealthy mindset is forged in pressure, but it does not crack. It sharpens, it learns, it adapts, and it begins with belief, not the kind of belief that wavers with bad news or folds under fear. I'm talking about belief that digs its roots deep into the earth of your soul. The belief that says, I don't care how impossible it looks. If I see it in my mind, I can hold it in my hands. The belief that refuses to negotiate with limitation. Do you think Steve Jobs asked for permission to change the world? He didn't follow the rules. He rewrote them. He didn't wait for a map. He drew his own. That is belief. And belief is a seed that grows into clarity. Clarity isn't just knowing what you want. It's knowing it so well that every action, every decision, every step you take is aligned with it. Clarity isn't some vague wish. It's a declaration. It's war paint. It's walking into the battlefield of life already knowing where the victory lies. When you have clarity, you stop asking for directions. You become the compass. You stop doubting whether it will happen, and you start preparing for when it happens. Walt Disney once stood in an empty field in Florida and saw a castle. Others saw swampland. He saw kingdoms. That's clarity. That's the power of a wealthy mind that doesn't just observe, it envisions. And what follows vision is purpose. Purpose is not some mystical thing you find. It's something you decide. And when you decide, the universe listens. Not immediately, not easily, but always. A man with purpose is more dangerous than a man with power, because power fades. But purpose burns. It doesn't clock out. It doesn't care about applause. It doesn't wait for conditions to be perfect. It acts because purpose knows that every delay is a theft, every excuse is a betrayal. And once you ignite that fire and that raw, undeniable reason for being, discipline must follow. Discipline is how the mind makes the vision real. Without discipline, dreams are just fantasies. But with it, they become inevitabilities. Discipline is not punishment. It's honor. It's showing up for your future every day, even when the mood is gone. It's doing the work when no one sees. It's getting up earlier than the doubt. It's staying up later than the fear. And when discipline becomes a habit, action becomes a reflex, not forced, not faked, natural, like breath, like heartbeat. You stop negotiating with the voice that says later. You silence the lie of I'll start tomorrow, because your wealthy mind knows tomorrow is a thief. And now is your greatest ally. Now is the only moment you can shape. Now is the only time where reality can be molded. Now is the hammer. Your mind is the forge, and action is the fire. The wealth you seek will never outrun the actions you avoid. There is no secret shortcut. There is no magic lamp. But there is movement. There is momentum. There is mastery. And the wealthy mind moves with intention. Every step is planted. Every motion deliberate. No wasted time, no wasted energy. Because when you're building something that lives beyond you, every brick must matter. But wealth is not only built in discipline and action, it is cemented by gratitude. Gratitude is the richest soil in which success grows. It's the grounding force that says, I may not be there yet, but I already have enough to become more. Gratitude is not complacency, it's awareness. It's the ability to recognize value before the world gives you the trophy. And when you're grateful, truly, radically grateful, you become magnetic. You stop repelling opportunities with desperation and start attracting them with peace. Because the universe doesn't respond to need. It responds to alignment. You must be adaptable. You must be like water, strong enough to carve through stone, soft enough to flow around obstacles. Adaptability is not weakness. It's wisdom. The rigid mind breaks. The wealthy mind bends, learns, and recalibrates. It doesn't cling to the way things were. It builds with what is and still reaches for what can be. Resilience becomes your armor, because the path will not be straight. It will not be easy. There will be setbacks that test your belief, losses that shake your clarity, days when your purpose feels distant. But hear me, your wealthy mind was built for those days, not just the victories, the valleys, the sleepless nights, the rejection, the doubt. That is where resilience is forged, where legends are born, and the wealthy mind never stops learning. It is a student of failure, a seeker of feedback. It is humble enough to grow, but fierce enough to never settle. Because in this life you are either expanding or shrinking, and the wealthy mind, it expands, endlessly, courageously, and unapologetically. And if you want to rise, truly rise, you must face the mirror and realize that no one is coming to save you. The cavalry isn't coming. There is no rescue. There is no lucky break. There is only you, your thoughts, your discipline, your actions, and your mindset. The moment you accept that is the moment you reclaim your power. No more blame. No more waiting. You begin to build your empire not from entitlement, but from ownership. Because a wealthy mindset doesn't just dream, it executes. It doesn't just plan, it produces, and it never, ever quits. You were not born to survive, but you were born to build, to lead, to create something that lasts beyond your time. But that only happens if you dare to think differently, to think boldly, to think wealthy. And when you do, the world and everything in it will begin to move differently around you, not because you change the world, but because you change yourself. And that changes everything. So breathe it in now. Let this truth settle into your bones. You are not here to live a life of quiet desperation. You are not here to simply exist. You are here to awaken the dormant greatness within, to turn your thoughts into gold, your beliefs into buildings, your mind into the throne from which all prosperity flows. The wealthy mindset is not a trend. It is not a tactic. It is a transformation. It is the rare decision to never again think small, to no longer speak in the language of limitation, to strip your thoughts of fear and lace them with fire, to wake up every day not hoping for wealth but embodying it, breathing it, moving like it's already yours because mentally it is. And when your mind becomes wealthy, your world must follow, because wealth is not first built in banks. It's built in belief. The life you want is already waiting for you, but it's waiting up there, at the level of vision, of discipline, of persistence that few are willing to climb. So climb. Climb when it hurts. Climb when no one claps. Climb when the silence is loud and the doubt is screaming. Climb, because every step rewrites your destiny. And when you reach that summit, not just of wealth, but of wisdom, of power, of peace, you'll understand that it was never about the money. It was never about the title. It was about becoming the kind of person who could create it all from nothing. That is the wealthy mindset. And it starts now, in you. Because when the mind is right, the life will follow. And when the life follows, everything changes. So go. Not to chase wealth, but to think like it. Not to beg for success, but to become the kind of mind success cannot resist. And when that happens, you will look back at this moment, this decision to change your mind, as the exact second your new life began.